Hello, welcome to One Piece of a Dream. My name is Richard, this is my wife Claire.
Hello.
Today we're going to be discussing our review for One Piece chapter 1074. The chapter is titled Mark III. Let's just go ahead and hop right into it. The chapter begins with the cover story titled Germa 66's Cold-Blooded Voyage Volume 30, Three Men Endlessly Scrapping, to be number 2, because Vegapunk is number 1.
Number 2 is better than number 3, I guess.
Well, apparently they really don't want to be number 3, because they're going at it.
Well, somebody's got to be number 3.
It's Caesar. Actually, no, it's Queen, because Caesar would be number 4, because there's 3 of them. I would say Judge is number 2. That's my opinion, though. Quite literally.
Opinion.
Yeah, because he's the only one who actually got his money on his own, and, he had the most successful inventions. The other 2 both had to borrow money from emperors.
Considering one of his inventions is Sanji. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good success right there. Moving on, though, we go to the Fabro-Stratum of Egghead. We see CP0 fighting against Pacifista.
They're having a really bad time.
A very bad time. You know why, Ben?
Yes, I do.
Because these are not just any Pacifista. These are
the new and improved Pacifista with
these are the
bubble shield.
These are the Pacifistas that you don't have at home. These are the new ones with bubble shields. These are the Pacifistas that you see these on TV and they're being advertised to you
to deflect rocket launchers.
To deflect rocket launchers. These are the new iPhone of Pacifistas. They have something that you probably never would have guessed. They got a shield.
Made a bubble. It's
a bubble shield. And it's awfully similar to the bubbles at Sabaody. Or another devil fruit that I forget whose it is. The one, was it the bubble thing? Or the soap or something? I don't remember.
About that one lady that made Nami smooth?
Yes. Yes, I am. But I don't think that's what this is. Oda does have a weird obsession with bubbles, though.
He does.
One of his favorite panels, apparently, from the entire series, or maybe it was his favorite, was this one panel where Robin, they're on Sabaody and she's wiping the bubble slime.
The bubble goo.
Yeah.
Bubble goo.
Now, I don't know if this is for a good reason or if he just thinks it's funny that she's rubbing slime on Usopp's
It might be
areas.
for the explanation.
But what's even more interesting than the new power, I think, is the fact that those glasses and the face and everything kind of screams a little bit of Aokiji. Just a wee bit. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, a little. I can see it.
Yeah, I think that they might actually not only have Kizaru powers now, but I'm wondering if they also have Aokiji's ice powers, or at least.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, at least a version of it. All we know is that these are the latest and greatest new machines, other than the Seraphim, of course. The Seraphims are probably still stronger. We don't know where they stand. I'm assuming that since they're, as we find out in the coming panels from Sentomaro, there are 50 of them, that they must not be that strong if he just, and maybe they are.
Maybe, well, I mean, if he's only made 50 of them, they've got to at least be a little strong.
You got to think, there's a lot less Seraphims, because they're only based on the Warlords. I would assume that since the government isn't using these, I would assume that the Pacifistas are probably, strong, but not Seraphim strong.
No. They're definitely not Seraphim strong.
It's very likely that what we're going to see next is that these Pacifistas are just going to be used to defeat the Marine fodder. And
I can see that happening.
Basically, we're going to see Pacifistas up against the Marines. Sentomaro releases them and commands them to essentially defend the island and stop the Marines from, preventing Straw Hat Luffy and Vegapunk from escaping. Oh, by the way, Sentomaro is still very not in good shape. He's
I feel very bad for Sentomaro, especially considering this was supposed to be his day off.
He has gotten some medical attention, it seems.
Well, at least there's that.
But he's definitely not in a good shape. He's very clearly not in good shape.
He's pretty battered.
Yeah, he's pretty battered. But he's actually, it's funny because he's already rebelling, but he's getting phone calls on the Dendem Mushi from the government trying to get him to take commands from them to find out what's going on. And he's just not answering because he's just like, oh man, I'm a traitor already. Sentomaro releases all 50 of these Pacifistas. And they all just march their way down to the shore to defend Egghead. And I don't think
it's quite astounding, really.
It really is. I don't think Sentomaro actually took into consideration, though, because we know the hierarchy for the Seraphim. And I assume that it's probably the same for these Pacifistas. My guess is that unless these are a really new thing and these are newer than the Seraphim to where the hierarchy hasn't been installed and only the Pacifistas.
Where you're going.
Yeah, the Pacifistas are only able to listen to Vegapunk and Sentomaro because they just haven't been given a hierarchy to go off of, which I doubt. If I had to guess, I would say that Sentomaru probably is just going to send these down there, not realizing that a Gorosei is going to show up, and the Gorosei could probably
just command them to stop.
Exactly. He could just straight up just be like, okay, stop.
I feel like it would have been a lot smarter for them to program the Seraphim to only listen to Sentomaru and Vegapunk's command, but I guess that would have made it look kind of shady.
It wouldn't even just be shady, it would just be that the government would just not be okay with that, because the government gave Vegapunk all the funding to make these devices, so of course the government has to have some ability to control these machines, but I really just don't think that he figured that a Gorosei was coming. But why would you blame him? I mean, the Gorosei don't do anything. They never leave Marie Joie.
Nobody would have pictured it.
No. So
nobody would have known.
We didn't even picture it happening.
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't see this happening. Nobody saw St. J. Garcia Saturn leaving and just being like, oh, I'm gonna finally do something. We do move on, though, to see that Luffy is extremely wore out and Shaka is a traitor. Okay, he's not guaranteed to be a traitor yet. I think he's a traitor.
Get right into the meat.
I think he's a traitor. To sum it up, Shaka knew where Bonney was the entire time.
He is kind of shady, to be honest.
He's very shady. He's at the control panel. The Frontier Dome is reactivated now that they're up there trapped, waiting for the Marines to get there. So somebody is definitely toying with them, and I think it's Shaka, because I feel like he's got a remote way to control it, but we'll see. We do get to see Brook looking like the Flatwoods monster, or about to fly into space and visit Mars. Zoro looking cool as hell, like he's about to go assassinate some people. And Stussy just looking sexy with some nice side boob and every other thing that comes with an Egghead Island female outfit.
These outfits are quite nice.
Yes, she is looking very nice. And we do get to see a very nice panel where we also see York, who is also extremely tall.
She's my favorite of the Vegapunks, I think.
Yeah, I like Lilith better, actually.
Her job is quite interesting.
I think I like Lilith more, though. Then again, I do like her outfit more. Her outfit on Lilith would be nice, but...
Yeah.
We see Atlas, though, as well as put back together from spare parts, supposedly. Nami is over there kicking Rob Lucci in the dick. He will never have children.
No leopard babies.
Robin is asking her to stop, and she doesn't appear to be listening. I feel bad for his family jewels. However, Kaku is
I don't. He's a fucking asshole.
You know, you're right. Actually, I don't feel bad. He is an asshole. Usopp is staring at the control panel, but it looks more like he's staring at Shaka's butt.
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
Yep. And then we get an explanation from Shaka that we don't know where the Stella body is, and the Frontier Dome is reactivated. Even if we could deactivate the Frontier Dome, because the lasers will fry us on the way out if we try to leave, we don't know where Vegapunk is, the main Stella body.
That is problematic.
It is problematic.
What do you think happened to him?
I don't know. I think, well, there's clearly a traitor, and I don't think there's just one traitor. I'm going to make a prediction. I think there's more than one traitor, and that Shaka is helping this traitor. But there's also the thought that, you know, Vegapunk can just phase in and out of reality. He does have the ability to do that. So, granted, yes, there's a traitor on the island, but he was with Bonney last chapter when Bonney went to the memory room. So either the traitor came in and kidnapped Vegapunk as a toddler then. Yeah, baby napped him. Or maybe Vegapunk just teleported off to go try to recover while he gets his golden years back. Because, as Bonney told him,
where would he
it's
have
temporary.
Gone?
I don't know. I mean, there's an entire island.
He was supposed to leave with Luffy.
Yeah, you do have a point, but he wasn't a baby when they made that promise either. Maybe he just tried to go and do it quicker.
But the promise still stands.
It does. Yeah, you know, you're probably right about that. The promise does still stand. I guess we'll find out, though, whenever we find out who the actual traitor is of Egghead Island. We also get an explanation from Shaka about how the Denden Mushi were actually knocked out of commission, the ones that record the lab, while the Seraphim were on their rampage.
I say that's very convenient.
It is very convenient. Apparently he knows where Bonney is, but he doesn't know where the Stella body is, which is very strange at this point. And I'm really,
like I said,
I'm really suspicious of
convenient.
Shaka. Zoro, who offers to go look for Vegapunk with them. Yeah, Zoro is like, hey, I'll go too. And then Sanji's like, oh, no, you don't, Mosshead. You're not going, because if you go, who's going to find you afterwards? And then everybody else is like in agreement.
Even Robin, man. Even Robin just says, stay here.
Yeah, we don't want to have to go look for you.
Keep Luffy company.
Yeah, so basically, Luffy and Zoro are just hanging out on the couch while Kaku and Lucci are unconscious on the ground, and they have a look on their face. I actually don't even know if they're truly still unconscious at this point. Now I'm, like, wondering about it. They very much just kind of look to me like they're not actually unconscious. I think they're going to wake up. Luffy's clearly...
Oh, they're definitely going to wake up.
Yeah, Luffy is definitely still worn out, which is weird. I guess Gear 5th really does have some very bad repercussions every time he uses it now, because when he fought Kaido, yeah, he turned old for a minute, but it was only for like a little bit. It wasn't like a very long time. He was able to just bounce right back. Now, he's not old at the moment, but he's very clearly worn out, and all he said he was doing, all he said he was doing was running around the factory. It doesn't really make much sense.
And he broke his shoes.
Yeah, and he broke his shoes. He's worried about having to pay that back. We cut over to Bonney, and we see that Bonney is seeing a young Kuma getting basically assaulted in a field by unknown people and a celestial dragon. Great shot of her butt. She's in tears, and so is Kuma.
This is really sad.
It is sad. Kuma gets essentially knocked, I assume, unconscious by the end of this confrontation. Yeah, they're threatening his family. He's begging them to just kill him. And it just seems like...
They're beating him with bats and stuff.
We're just building up right now. We're building up to the new...
Not nice.
Yeah, we're building up to a new story for Kuma, and I think this is just a taste of what's to come. This is obviously what Vegapunk meant, though, when he said that this was Kuma's pain, and not literally pain. His memories are, pain in the sense that he has a very painful past, and this is going to hurt Bonney even more. She decides, though, because she gets ejected from Kuma's memories, or she ejects herself, I suppose, after
I
seeing
don't know
what
if she did it on purpose.
Yeah, but
she did it on accident if she did it herself.
Yeah, but she does end up going back in. At least she said she's going to, so we can assume she's going to go back in. Because she wants to know what truly happened to her father, and she'll never know if she doesn't actually go back into the memory bubble.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, we also see a scene of Kuma still currently climbing the red line as well, so that's what's going on with that. Nothing has changed. So apparently not a whole lot of time must have passed in the time that all of this has taken place.
Well, it's a memory, so I kind of figure it would be like how a dream works, kind of. It feels like a lot of time has passed in the dream, but when you wake up, it's only been like 30 minutes.
Yeah, not a lot has actually gone by in real life.
Yeah.
We do cut over to see Pythagoras in an undisclosed part of the lab, and he's walking across a bridge, currently looking for Vegapunk, and the bridge just randomly blows up. So the traitor has clearly gone after Pythagoras. Maybe it's somebody we haven't even seen yet. Maybe we don't know who this is. But I still think Shaka's involved with them somehow.
Yeah, he's kind of weird.
But then we cut over to the most important part of the entire chapter. We get to Big News Morgan's weird-looking flying ship.
Teapot.
Yeah, it does look like a flying teapot. More importantly, though, is what's going on inside the ship, because we see that Big News Morgan is hanging up a Denden Mushi, and he just got off the phone with an informant. We don't know who the informant is. It could be the traitor, maybe, but what we find out is that Big News Morgan is entirely aware of what's going on Egghead Island. In fact, he literally says that they're trying to assassinate the beloved Dr. Vegapunk, and this isn't just going to fly because Vegapunk has done too much for too many people, like powering islands and those sorts of things, to just let the government kill him and everybody be alright with it.
He's got a point.
It's not just going to happen. But he does come up with this crazy idea that if he tells the world that Luffy is kidnapping Vegapunk, that somehow this will solve the problem.
It'll make everything better.
Because
absolutely everything.
Yeah, he at that point will just blame the death of Vegapunk on Luffy, even though it has nothing to do with it. Phoebe, who appears with Wapple in the following scene, thinks this is a terrible idea. Oh, by the way, I should mention that after he comes up with this headline, Morgan, he actually says go collect more money or contributions from the government, because now he's being paid to print propaganda for the government.
Which, might I add, is a complete 180 turnaround from what we last saw him doing.
Last time we saw him, he was doing whatever he felt like. He knocked out a CP0 fodder agent that threatened him after offering him money and said, I'll print what I want. And now it's like the other way around. It's as though the government decided to turn around and press their thumb real hard on him just to make sure that he doesn't ever print the truth again. And Vivi is essentially just saying, the World Economic Journal is a rag, and Wapple is saying, hey, come on, there could be wiretaps around here. Be nice to Morgan-chan. He took us in. Don't be rude. And this actually prompts Big News Morgan to be quite angry. But before we get into Big News Morgan's response, we should probably address why Wapple and Vivi are even with Big News Morgan, because if I had to guess, they're probably there to try to get the word out to the rest of the world about what really happened at the Reverie. Because as far as we knew, Apparently, the government is put out the news bulletin that Sabo has killed King Cobra. We can assume this is not true, because why else would Wapol and Vivi be there, and why would Vivi have gotten over the death of her father so fast? It doesn't really make much sense. I'm thinking either Cobra is not dead, maybe the government took him prisoner or something along those lines, or maybe they saw something that's even more important, that she was managed to just temporarily put off the emotions of her father's death to try to get the truth out for revenge. Maybe she's at the stage of, grieving.
Yeah.
And maybe she's at, like, this point of grieving where she's just like, if I get the news out, I can at least get justice for my father. So I could tell the world about what the government is actually doing up at Mary Joie, about Emu or whoever she saw, whatever the deal is, and what really took place. But Big News Morgan, who seems to be under the government's thumb now and on their payroll at this point, probably isn't even interested in hearing this out. When she makes the suggestion that Luffy wouldn't do something like this, Big News Morgan's response is like, that's big talk for a girl who was crying up until yesterday. Don't look down on me or tell me how to do my job. My words can shake the world. Besides, it doesn't matter if it's real or not. News isn't about fact or fiction, it's about entertainment. So from now on, here on this channel, we will officially be no longer calling Big News Morgan Big News Morgan. We will be calling him Fake News Morgan, because that's what he is. He's fake news.
He tells lies.
He does tell lies. He's printing misinformation and propaganda. He's no better than any other propaganda, dictatorship, journalism source that you would see in any third world country ran by a dictatorship. Anyway, that's all we have. That's the end of this chapter. Next chapter hopefully will be way better than this one. This one was good, but it wasn't like amazing. It was
fine. Yeah. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like love it. It's not my favorite chapter.
Yeah, same.
Is what I mean.
It's not mine either. It's decent,
but it wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad. It was just okay. But I think that the following chapters, the next couple, are going to be really big. But I think they're going to be chapters that are similar to this one, where it's still ramping up the suspense till we actually get the Marines down to Egghead. Because that's when shit's going to hit the fan. It's just going to come crashing down. We're going to see some crazy stuff. We're going to get more of the Bonney Kuma backstory. That's going to rip our hearts out. And we're going to be very, moved by not only that, but probably I'll
probably cry.
Yeah, probably the actual events yet to come are going to be just as bad. Because I think that if this really does shape up to be another Ohara type incident, we're going to see the destruction of Egghead Island. However, I don't think we're going to see the destruction of Vegapunk. It's possible, considering Dr. Clover died during Ohara.
I can't see that happening now.
Yeah, and Luffy did make a promise. However, One Piece doesn't always go the way you want it to go. But we'll see. Maybe he'll actually make it happen, because he was in his Sun God Nika form when he made that promise, and people pray to Sun God Nika as their savior. So I think that in this case, Sun God Nika is going to be the savior of Vegapunk and Sentomaru. I don't think we're going to see everyone die, but I think we're going to see quite a large amount of damage take place to Egghead Island. And it also makes me wonder too, other than just the full force of the Marines coming, are we going to see Emu's secret weapon one more time?
Ooh.
I want to see that. I want to see if we see what the actual weapon he used to destroy Leloucia was, because that could be very major if he actually uses it. Until then, though, that's all we have for you. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll be covering the spoilers when they come out and the new chapter after this one sooner than we did this one. This one we're a little bit late on, but we will be covering it.
It's okay.
Yeah, things happened and we couldn't get to posting it, but we will.
Life sometimes just does things.
Yeah, but we'll get the next one out much quicker, hopefully the day of release. Till then, though, we hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to see all of our future uploads. Until then, that's all we have for you. We'll see you guys again in the next video. Peace.
Bye-bye.